Hi everyone, and welcome to this property here out at Victoria Point. We had this client here by the name of Michelle who contacted us here at Jetset Plumbing and reached out to us regarding the recent storms and cyclone that just recently hit southeast Queensland. So essentially what the customer is experiencing is a pool of overflowing water that is coming out of this downpipe here. Every other downpipe seems to be running away pretty well, according to the customer. So essentially we do have a block drain in this area here somewhere in this vicinity from what the client has an understanding of. So our best plan of attack for this will be to remove some fittings off this, and then we're going to get down there with our high pressure water jet, clear out the blockage and chew away whatever's in there. And then we're going to send through our high definition camera. We're going to have a look, pinpoint exactly where the issue is, and then let the client know exactly what we do from there. So hang tight, guys. Also too, guys, give us a like and subscribe to our newsletter. Guys, this newsletter is awesome. It gives you weekly giveaways, promos, and also some amazing discounts here at Jetset. So guys, do us a favor, give us a like and a subscribe, not only on our YouTube channel but also to our newsletter. It has got some great things about it. So first things first, we're just going to set up our safety gear. So just going to pop these out here just to let the public know that, you know, we do have some equipment and machinery that is going to be going around. So just going to set all these up to give me as much safety and the general public as possible. We're just going to set up our water connection now. It's on there. Alrighty. So when we do our high pressure water jetting, we use the water from the mains to be able to fill up our tank in our high pressure water jetter, and then what that does is that shoots water out at a very high pressure of anywhere between 4.5 to 6,000 kPa, which will generally get rid of most debris and blockages in pipe work. Okay, now that we've got water to our jetter, we're going to set everything up. We're just going to run our hoses, get that brake on, that one off. Okay, so first things first, we're going to have to dismantle this downpipe. So going to definitely unscrew these clips that we've got here. Hopefully that frees it up a bit to be able to gain access into this fitting here. If not, then what I may have to do is speak to the client about putting in a little insertion hole to be able for us to gain access. So let's try and gain access first and see how we go regarding that. Locked in. There you are. Good to go. So as I was explaining earlier, every single property is different regarding access. Some properties will have direct access with fittings. Some properties will have direct access for stormwater regarding pits, but ideally, if we got the blockage just at this downpipe here, we would love to go in straight down from the culprit itself. Alrighty, so that bracket off, and we'll go and get this bracket off too. Give that a bit of a tap. There we go. Alrighty. So now that the brackets are off, it gives it a bit of flexibility, which is ideally what we'd want. So I'm just gonna slowly try and get this bad boy out. Playing ball down the bottom end, or top end, sorry. Let me see how the bottom end goes. A bit of a tight one here. Wow, how can we get this off? Got it. Alrighty, so we've got the downpipe off completely, which is good. All still intact in one piece. Bit of debris up here, but that's okay. So now we have direct access to this downpipe outlet, and now we direct our hoses straight down there, which will be able to unblock this drain and see what is going on. So now that we've got that off, we've got access, we're going to continue on with the process of setting up the jetter. We got a mini reel, and we got our camera. Okay. So ideally, the general sort of knowledge to when your stormwater system is blocking up is the indicators show that sometimes, for example, with a heavy downpour, any downpour realistically, if you've got any water coming out from this fitting here or overflowing from your gutters, then that definitely is a major indication that there is a blockage in the line. So if you are experiencing any of those issues, feel free to reach out and we would love to come and help you out. Okay, jetter's isolated, so off. Now we're just going to go and start her up and get some gloves on. Alrighty. Okie dokie, all gloved up. Got really good pressure. Okie dokie. So what we're going to be using here is our penetrator nozzle. What this will do is it'll penetrate any blockage, or attempt to at least. which will then get the water away, which will give us some great access into, I can already feel as though there's some things that are already chockers right in the line just here. So I'm just going to slowly put this on. So we can already see it churning and chewing whatever's there. Now we just got to work it through the blockage. As we can already see, we've got some debris, and we're going to give it another whirl down there. So from what I can gather, it feels as though that there may be a slight blockage just on the fitting. Now my jet is struggling to get around that. So what I'm going to do is I put a bit of clear water down it, which should hopefully give us enough vision in the camera. And then essentially what we're going to be doing is giving the pipework a bit of an endoscopy, and then try and see if we can get this jet head around that fitting and continue on with the blockage. Sorry, getting to the blockage. Alrighty, now that we've got our monitor hooked up to our reel, just going to give us a bit more room here. Rightio. Obviously we've got our drain camera set up right here, so so hopefully we can see what's going on down here. So camera's now going to be put into the pipe, as you can see that, and then you've obviously got the footage which is coming out from the camera head there. Okay, so then it goes into Stormflex. Okay. So it looks as though there was a fair bit of debris that was blocking it, because in the camera footage you can see that in the watermarks in the PVC, that line, which is just there, I'm not sure whether or not you can see it, shows that it's been blocked up for quite a while. I'm going to try and push through all this water. Alrighty, so line seems to be holding quite a fair bit of water. Now this, in hindsight, what's going on here is, what I can gather from my camera is that this pipe comes down and obviously either runs to the front or the back of the property. I haven't determined that yet. However, what I can see is water is flowing but just moving around, but we do have a 2-degree uphill battle in some spots of the pipe work, which tells me that some of the pipe work has moved, or it might be cracked in some places. Okay, so what we have here, from what I can gather and see from the jet, it looks like it's cleared it, but it looks as though at this joint here we've got some discrepancies. Just going to pull back a bit more. This joint looks pretty good. Alright. So, I'm still holding quite a fair bit of water. Just going to try and get down the line the best as I possibly can. Alrighty, so I'm going to whack the jetter on. Alrighty. I've got my locating equipment here. So essentially what we want to do is we want to locate exactly where that elbow is and then work out what we are going to do here to rectify the process. So in hindsight, we're just going to get some footage on the phone so that way we're able to show the customer exactly what's going on here. So it seems to be holding quite a fair bit of water in the pipe work, going into the back of the line. So I'm just going to follow it as best as I possibly can so that way I can determine if there is any discrepancies. So it looks as though that this would definitely be a charge line considering the amount of water that this is holding. You can see a fair bit more of debris there around that section. Okie dokie. So we are currently just under 30 meters into this line. And then we drop into a massive stormwater easement just after this. So that there is the stormwater mains. So ideally we're just going to pull back now so that way we can get some footage and sort of see visually on the condition of the entire run. So it still sees as though there's a fair bit of debris still in the pipe. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to try and get this jetter into this main line, and then we are going to try and get down this hose all the way down to that 30-meter easement and completely clean everything out for the line for the client, so that way they can eventually have a understanding of how their stormwater system works when it's clear. So let's just get this bad boy up and out of the way. Alrighty. Just going to give my camera screen a good old wipe. Gonna get some new gloves on. Could ever not be too careful. Awesome. So sometimes I like to think that I'm quite the surgeon when I get tricky situations like this. Clean that lens out a bit. Okay. Said keyhole surgery. I'm try to give this a bit of water. Get a bit of frost. Essentially right now, just cleaning out and pumping as much water as I possibly can. So what's going on here is that you can actually hear the jetter through this crack. That shouldn't be happening. So essentially there's a fitting down underneath here that has an elbow. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one to repair. Reason being is that because some methods, it's a bit of a tricky situation to be able to repair that via a no-dig solution, just because there's so many bends and turns here. So ideally, I've just pumped a lot of water down this line now. I'm just going to pump as much down there as I possibly can, just so that way we can at least see. Actually, I might try the other nozzle. Might try the other penetrator head to see if I can get around that to shoot a bit more water down there. Let's give it a whirl and see how we go. Alrighty, so this head's gone pretty well through it, so gonna get this bad boy on. and jet away. So one way that I can tell that there is a major blockage here is that if I cannot hear my jetter, so you'll notice that at some points you might hear it go whirling and not. That's because there's still a blockage down there and it's holding a lot of water. Alrighty, so I've set that through completely. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chuck the camera in again, just to see if it's sort of cleaned up most of that debris that was left over from where this fitting didn't work properly. I'm just going to get this as far down as I possibly can down the line. Okie dokie. I'm just going to inspect it again. Alrighty, so stormwater drain is now clear. In some sections of this stormwater pipe, there is a bit of backfall. Now that's completely fine and normal if your complete stormwater system is completely sealed up. Now, what's happening here is that we've had some tree root penetration initially from when I first initiated my jetter, just on that elbow down at the bottom here, which makes sense as to why the client's experiencing just only this downpipe overflowing when it does have a heavy downpour. So ideally, I'm going to now figure out whether or not it's something we can fix above ground, or essentially have to dig it up and replace this whole area here. From a professional and thorough foolproof standpoint, I generally think that a complete rebuild of this section would be ideal. Reason being is because there is a pipework in that. It is called Stormflex, that I'm not sure many plumbers are fond of, but it is a bit of a pain when it comes to drainage. So ideally we're going to now work out exactly what we can do to rectify this, let the client know, and then take it from there.